At Highland, we're all about celebrating little wins and little ways to innovate digital processes. There's no customer pain point too small for us to help with. Maybe that's why more than half of the Fortune 100 looks to Highland to connect their content and data, improve processes, and turn little efficiencies into big wins for their customers and clients. Highland, intelligent content solutions for innovators everywhere at highland.com.
Welcome back to the Holosky Podcast. We're your hosts, Steven
and Kyle.
And we are back after taking a little break last week. Sorry for leaving you guys hanging, but we had a whole bunch of life stuff going on. And
yeah, I got COVID.
Kyle got COVID. I went to Texas. We just had this whole thing going on.
Yeah, fist fought COVID, and I won.
Kyle's back at it.
I'm alive and kicking.
It.
I made it. I'm a survivor now.
He made it.
I'm a survivor.
So now we're back.
Now the best part of life.
Oh, shit, yeah.
Oh.
We have been sitting here for like 4 hours. We just went live on Instagram for the first time.
Yeah, it's pretty cool.
And we haven't done anything actual podcast wise. So
yeah, now we're here.
We're here for it.
That monster was so good.
Yeah.
A lot of people were asking us where the monster's at, and we were just saving them for the episodes because we knew
that we're not good at time management.
Yeah, we're really bad at time management. But it was cool hanging out with everybody on live. We're going to try to do that more.
And we'll announce it a little bit better. So if anybody wants to come and chill, Tony from the Confessionals jumped in and we chatted about the Travis Scott tragedy and the symbolism, the symbology.
Yeah, and then I said something on there on Instagram about it, which I'll say something here. But when we do that, like when me and Steve are together, I'll be able to do it, but I can hook my phone up to it and our Holosky phone, and if you wanted to call in and chat or tell us a creepy story or whatever, we can do that live on Instagram, and I can also make an episode out of it as well. So there's that.
We can double down.
Yeah, and that would be more of like a bonus content shit because the people will be like there,
double down.
So I don't know. We'll see what happens with it. I just think it's worthwhile trying.
Yeah, it'll be fun. It was fun interacting with everybody.
Yeah.
Sorry we didn't get everybody's questions. It was kind of hard to follow sideways the way we had our phone set up.
Yeah.
Maybe we could figure out how to do it from our computer. I know the picture won't be as great, but it'd be easier to follow along maybe.
Yeah,
I don't know. We'll get it figured out.
Yeah.
We're not tech guys.
Or you could just download Instagram on your phone and read the comments from your phone.
Yeah, I could do that, but I'm also not stupid.
True.
Anyway, Kyle has decided to dig into the great military records where they tried to record everything about our lives called LifeLog.
Yeah.
Whole DARPA program. We're going to get into that after we get through the business. So check us out at all our social medias, Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, Twitter, and TikTok. Come and hang out with us. You know the deal. If you have a paranormal encounter that you would like to share with us for a future episode, Kyle's going to tell you how to get it to us.
Yeah. You can use your voice memo app on your smartphone, record your story. You can use your camera if you want to, and record it, and then email it to us, which is going to be holoskypodcast@gmail.com. You can call the holophone, leave a message, which the phone number is in the show notes now. Discord's in the show notes. Virtually everything should be in the show notes now.
Don't sleep on the Discord.
Yeah, Discord's cool.
You need to go
a cool place
hop
to be.
into that and hang out with everybody. We talk about weird shit. It's a good time.
Yeah, it's a pretty cool place, and
Kyle's usually more active on there than I am, but whenever I'm doing research and shit, I try to jump in there.
I haven't been too
chill.
active lately, just like with life getting in the way with the COVID and all that bullshit.
Yeah.
It was weird because when I was sick like that, I didn't want to do anything.
Yeah.
I didn't want to do nothing. I just laid in bed and watched TV. I killed a lot of seasons of stuff.
It just drains your energy.
It did.
That was probably the biggest thing.
It was the weirdest head cold I've ever had.
When I was sick, I still, I can't confirm it, but I swear that I had it in February of last year, 2020. And I remember having terrible headache. One night I had the chills super bad. And then after that, I was just so tired. And when I got my second Moderna vaccine, a couple days after, I had a super bad headache, and I was just so exhausted.
You get COVID again.
Yeah, it was like double COVID.
Sick.
So that's like one of the biggest things I remember, just being fucking tired. Yeah. Just drained your energy. Anyway, wrapping back around. If you'd like to support the show, there's tons of ways you can do that. They're all in the show notes. We got a Patreon. Shout out to everybody for supporting us through there. Another thing, if you are a Patreon member, make sure you get on there in the messages and leave us your shipping address, your name and your shipping address. That way I can get stickers out. I've fallen behind on that a little bit, but I'm getting ready to jump back in it.
Same. I got to get shirts sent out. I got to email some of you to make sure, because I fucked up and I didn't write down one of the last batches I sent out. So I got to email people to make sure that they didn't already get shirts, or if they have gotten them. So that is going to be my bad, but I will email you guys here pretty fucking quick, because there's a handful of people that are up and ready to receive shirts. So, yeah.
So be sure to leave your shipping address. That way I don't have to message you like 40 times asking for it. Also, we have a Venmo. If you'd like to hop in there and leave us some monster money, shout out to everybody that's done that. We appreciate you guys. You are dope, and we love you. We love all of you.
For sure.
And we have a store up. Go check out some shirts, grab something dope there. It's in the show notes. Everything's basically in the show notes.
Yeah, we'll have some new shirts in there here soon too.
Other ways you can support the show is tell all your weird friends. Anybody that listens to the podcast, we're still trying to get our name out there and get the word out and just kind of keep increasing the community. And you can leave us a 5-star rating and review. Go to wherever you read or listen to your podcasts and check us out. Leave us a rating. We will gladly share it if it's 5-star, because that's what we're after. Makes us look good. Kind of wades us through all of the other ocean of podcasts. I'm still going through some of the ones we got from across the ocean. So today is from our friend Cash. It says, amazing. So many podcasts on this topic, but I quickly lose interest. Not with this one, however. It's informative and well-researched. Loving working my way through all the episodes. Well, Cash from across the ocean, we love it too.
Yeah.
And we appreciate you, because this is what we like to hear.
It is awesome.
On to our listener experience of the day. Let me get to it right quick. This is from our friend Martin. He says, hey guys, you two recently asked for encounters listeners had. I posted this story on Reddit thread recently, hoping someone would have seen something similar, but my comment was lost in the sea of the others. Anyway, here's the experience I had. About 11 years ago, I was living in northern Alabama. I didn't have a car, so I would go for walks often down to the Coosa River to visit the blue heron that lived there, which was amazing to me as I'd never seen one before, as well as what I call turkey ducks. They're Muscovy ducks, is what he thinks. Anyway, one evening I was particularly depressed, and I was walking along a huge wooded lot area that extended next to a highway that cut through the city, and there was a culvert type thing that had those huge power lines running through it. I was walking on the sidewalk following the road, looking around for various wildlife. such as it was all still kind of new to me as a New England transplant. I saw this creature on the edge of the tree line that looked like those fuzzy things with feet people used to stick on their dashboards in the late 80s, early 90s, but with 2 deer legs. No body really, just a round head thing with 2 legs about 5 feet tall, covered in short brown tan fur. I didn't see any facial features, but it ran into the woods after maybe 15 seconds of me noticing. Well, that is... I don't think I've ever heard anything like that.
No.
Honestly. It kind of... Like, I'm just picturing, like... Maybe Cousin It from the Addams Family.
Good.
But, like, that's the first thing that popped in my head. But, like, with deer legs... I don't know if I've ever heard of anything like that. I'll do some...
And 15 seconds is a pretty decent...
Yeah, that's a long time to be locked on.
Yeah.
Like, you have enough time to...
Like, really process it.
Process what you're looking at.
Yeah.
And I don't know that I've heard of anything
I definitely haven't.
that similar. 5 feet tall, so it wasn't like huge like a Sasquatch, and for it to have skinny little deer legs, that's something whole different creature. I don't know, man. That's crazy. No real facial features either. I'll dig around a little bit and see. It's almost like it's a furry hay bale with...
I hope it's a furry hay bale.
A furry hay bale with deer legs. I don't know, man.
I like that
That's
image.
wild.
I like that image.
That's what because I know, the little dashboard things he's talking about.
Yeah.
The little fuzzy, like they almost look like, what's those candy, like, I can't remember. Anyway, but yeah, I have no idea.
I don't either. It's got me trumped.
I wonder if it's something... I'll have to look up Alabama cryptids. Maybe it's something that does reside there. I don't know. It's wild.
The world gets more and more wild every day.
Yeah, I don't question anything at this point except the government.
You can't.
Anyway, thanks, Martin, for sending your story. And like I said, I'll
just utterly trumping us.
I'll dig in and see if I can't find anything else. But to my recollection now, I don't think I've ever heard of anything like that.
Oh, I definitely haven't. I like the image idea of a furry hay bale, though.
I love when the ones like this come in where it's not like a set cryptid. It's not like, oh, I saw a Mothman. But I do like those. But when you get these ones that are just
one-off weird fucks
out there, like
yeah.
it's like there's so much shit that we don't know. It's just wild.
Yeah.
Anyway, thanks again, Martin. And if you have a paranormal encounter you'd like to send in on a future show, definitely check the show notes out.
For sure.
So from there, Kyle's about to record every move that we make.
Yeah, we've all been doing that anyways.
The life log.
Yeah, so I've heard about life log before, and then Steve recently brought it up. I wrote it down a while ago to actually research, but life kind of gets in the way, and you like me and Steve's style is that we don't really have a style. We just kind of let things fall in our lap and go with the flow. But I feel like it's kind of relevant right now, talking about life log with all the new tech shit coming out, which I'll get into a little bit that after life log itself here. But this little bit was from Wikipedia, but life log, it basically got adapted by DARPA, which it was a project of the Information Processing Techniques Office of Defense Advanced Research Projects Agency, aka DARPA. Its main purpose was to be an ontology-based system that captures, stores, and makes accessible the flow of one person's experience and interactions with the world. It was a concept meant to be able to trace the threads of an individual's life in terms of events, states, relationships, basically everything, with the ability to take in all of the subject's experience, from phone numbers dialed, email messages viewed, virtually to every breath that the person was taking. I mean, every step made, every place gone, it's all logged. It aimed to compile a massive electronic database of every activity and relationship a person engages in. This was to include credit cards, websites visited, even the content of all communications sent and received. It also was somehow able to collect faxes, postal mail, books, magazines, TV and radio selections, and it also would require the user to wear a GPS sensor. This is all in theory at the time. Another function was predictive function. It sought to find meaning patterns in the timeline to infer the user's routines, habits, and relationships with other people, places, and things, all to exploit these patterns to ease its task, which virtually is what the internet now does.
Yeah, all these things that they wanted to do, which sounds so nefarious when it's set up in a single program.
Yeah.
They're already doing now.
Yeah, it's all branched out. From
Yeah.
what we are sold, it's all branched in different directions.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Your phone has step trackers in it.
Yeah.
People have Fitbits that have step trackers. Your phone has built-in GPS. How many people keep their phone on them all the time?
Yeah, everybody.
Everybody that has one.
Everybody.
So all of these things, if you think they don't record your credit card transactions and your numbers, you're naive. If you think that they aren't watching every website you check into,
Yeah, they do.
you're naive. So all these things that it wanted to do in this nice little package that everybody said, hey, red flag, this isn't a good idea.
Yeah.
They're like, you know what? We'll just
Break it up.
And the masses will just be like, okay.
Yep.
And half the time, people post all that shit on their Facebook and on their Instagram and on their YouTube and on Twitter and everything else anyway.
Yeah, people will post when they're gone for vacation and their house gets robbed.
Yeah.
It's not very intelligent. Like, I understand that you're excited about being on vacation, but maybe hold off till you get back. Anyways, LifeLock's backers said it could be a near perfect digital memory, giving its users computerized assistance with an almost perfect recall of what they had done. But once it hit the mainstream, people started ripping apart due to possibly privacy issues and the possibility of it becoming the ultimate tool for profiling potential enemies of the state. One bit from Wired.com said that researchers close to the project couldn't understand why it was dropped. DARPA hasn't provided an explanation as to why it got canceled. A change in priorities is the only thing the spokeswoman would say about, why they dropped it. Now, this is rather interesting because this will actually predate LifeLog, but in 1945, a man named Vannevar Bush described an idea he termed Memex.
That's terrifying.
MEMEX.
I thought it was MIC.
No. But this was essentially LifeLog way before LifeLog. His idea was a device in which it could store a person's books, records, and communications, in which it could be mechanized so that it could be consulted with exceeding speed and flexibility. Which the main problem for this guy was that he just literally didn't have the tech to do it in the 1940s. Like, innovation wasn't there yet. So in 2001, Gordon Bell, a computer scientist consultant, ends up volunteering to be the subject of a program called My Life Bits, which is a life logging experiment. It sounded more or less like this program was meant for keepsakes. They compared it to a person's house catching fire and someone grabbing the photo album. So it was going to help people store their memories to be able to go back on. Like, it seemed like this guy's intention was pure, right? But as he started to lay out the process of the program and the idea of it and how everything worked, well, this is when DARPA caught wind of it, and they're like, hey,
we could use this.
I think we could adapt this program. So DARPA ends up aiding in the experiment. In 2002, the agency launched a wide-ranging effort to develop a new, more sophisticated artificial intelligence. The $7.3 million cognitive assistant, which was basically an artificial intelligence secretary that could learn by watching. In order for this AI to work properly, they needed a shitload of data, human data. It just so happens that a former Navy researcher by the name of Gage had a plan for it. He presented LifeLog. Now, Gage, he also wanted this to be a helpful tool as well, potentially helping stroke victims with short-term memory loss. Gage also noted that the LifeLog users would be able to choose what information got collected and whom was able to access it. And
that's never the case.
No, and it's like this is this guy's idea, his process for it, right? And DARPA's like, okay, yeah, sounds great. But I'm assuming DARPA was trying to sell this program to other, I don't know if it was countries or buyers or investors or whatever it was, but they ended up making a pamphlet for it. And they give it out, and it was like the complete opposite of what this guy's idea was, because they hand the pamphlet out and they described LifeLog as slightly different. They sold it as a potential surveillance tool. LifeLog will be able to infer the user's routines, habits, and relationships with other people, organizations, places, and objects, and to exploit these patterns to ease its task. Now, as irony would have it, Gage makes a statement that holds very true. Because at this point in time, LifeLog ends up getting canceled after this pamphlet hits and the general population catch wind of it. And LifeLog ends up being canceled on February 4th of 2004. Yes, it's a very notable date, but Gage makes a statement that holds really true, because this is not the first time this happens. But he says, it would not surprise me to learn that the government continued to fund research that pushed the area forward without calling a LifeLog. So essentially, the government does what the government does. They either bury it in a black budget, or they change the program name so people lose track of it. It's harder, or sometimes they even hand it off to different agencies. The agencies will bounce it around to keep it harder to track. But as luck would have it, LifeLog was canceled February 4th, 2004. Well, what else happened in 2004? Mark Zuckerberg founded Facebook.
Fucking suck.
And, you're like, oh, okay, that's just coincidence. And then you see a tweet that I found from DARPA. LifeLog and Facebook have absolutely nothing to do with one another. That a former DARPA employee worked for Facebook stands to reason, as many alumni work in Silicon Valley after leaving the agency. Our average tenure is only 4 years. So you're like,
trust us.
Yeah, like,
they're not the same.
Way to not make things obvious.
DARPA, I'm just saying.
Like, come on.
Just because our people that wanted to record your life is now working for another program where you record your life doesn't mean that it's connected.
Right. And that Gage guy even calls him out. He's like, I think that Facebook is the real face of pseudo LifeLog at this point. I also generally avoid using Facebook, only occasionally log in to see what everyone is up to. And I have never liked anything.
Yeah, they don't even have to do anything. Everybody's volunteering their information now.
Yeah. Yeah. And then,
everybody airs their laundry out. Everybody posts what they're doing. Everybody posts what they're going, what they're eating. Between that and Instagram, it is just a day to day of what you do.
Yeah, I only mess with Instagram because it's mostly just pictures, and it's just cool shit. But I don't know. Like, I've never done the Facebook because I don't need daily updates on everybody's shit. And I know people don't want mine, so that's why I don't do it. And there's a lot of drama there. But another thing that got my mind kind of cruising, right? Like they talked about mass data storage and this, that, and the other. So I start looking into the Utah Data Center, right? That big NSA collection center that got outed several years back. And the NSA is like, oh, it's all just metadata. We can't read it anyways. And but we have a massive storage facility, right?
We can't read it. Why are we collecting it?
Exactly. But it got me thinking,
Weird.
And so I start trying to find dates on maybe if it's possible that in the near time frame of LifeLog and going live, like I was like in my brain, all I needed was like something that said like Utah data facility went underway in 2004, 5, 6, 7 within that relative time frame to go, okay, well this is definitely linked because they have this program that's able of collecting ridiculous amounts of data. Well, they're going to need a place to store all that data, right?
Mm-hmm.
So it says on their website that in 2012, the governor of Utah revealed they would be building the first facility in the world expected to gather and house a yottabyte. There have been plenty of people trying to guess how much space this would be able to store, anywhere from zettabytes, exabytes, to them declaring this place was built with expansion in mind. And he makes a stupid ass pun here. It's going to hold a lot of bytes. That they can't.
I don't even know this dude, and I don't like him.
Yeah, and they can't even reveal the actual storage capacity because it's of national security apparently. But this place is powered by a massive parallel Cray X C30 supercomputer, which is capable of scaling high-performance computing workloads of more than 100 petaflops or 100 trillion calculations every second.
What?
Its code name is Cascade. And they say their ultimate target is a 256-bit AES, which stands for Advanced Encryption Standard algorithm that is used to encrypt data. They estimate it would take longer than the age of the universe to break the code using trial and error brute force attacks. It's fucking crazy. But the interesting number that I was able to find was that in 2004, the NSA launched a plan to use the multi-program research facility in Oak Ridge, Tennessee, to build a classified supercomputer designated facility for cryptanalysis targeting the AES algorithm.
Weird.
Right. So
Good catch.
numbers are in parallel. And it was 3 years after LifeLog went live that the first Apple iPhone came out. So everything kind of just like falls in line, right?
Yeah.
To every day.
They're going to get what they want regardless of how you feel about it.
Yeah, and if they can't sell it to you this way, they're going to sell it to you from another angle. That's just what they do. And then it's funny how things start to play out. So I'm looking at this topic, and I tune into one of the podcasts I enjoy listening to called The Propaganda Report. And they're talking about things such as the intelligence community and whistleblower programs and shit like that. Well, they threw out a pretty fucking interesting theory that I actually wouldn't be shocked, and this might be semi-controversial, but they are under an idea that Snowden was more or less a disinformation agent. Because Snowden supposedly, because if I remember correctly, Snowden was the dude that blasted the NSA facility. He's the one that kind of outed like, hey, they're collecting all your fucking data. They're doing all this shit.
Yeah.
They think that Snowden was more or less a disinformation agent, or he's acting like he's a whistleblower, but he's not actually a whistleblower.
He's blowing the wrong whistle.
Right. And they kind of make this assumption because there's this Pierre Odemeyer who created eBay. Apparently, this same dude pays for all types of whistleblowers. Snowden is on that list. And Pierre also likes to kick it with George Soros. Because I think that, if I remember hearing correctly, I think that last Facebook whistleblower that came out,
yeah,
I think he has paid for all the lawyers around it, all around that person.
Weird.
That Pierre Odemeyer guy.
Weird.
Right? Because how fucked would it be if that dude, like what he outed was just a smokescreen, more or less.
I love it.
It blows your mind.
That would not shock me at all.
No.
It never crossed my mind that maybe that was the case, but would not shock me at all.
No. And then you'd have to ask, to what end? What the hell was he smokescreening? Or was it just to get the conversation in the public about them collecting data so they could go? It's almost like, do we get it out there and spearhead it before it gets out of control? Like, we have an opportunity, because that's when all the hearings started to happen with it, and they're like, listen, we can't even read this data anyways. It's just blah, blah, blah. And then now nobody gives a fuck.
Yeah. Yeah.
So maybe it was just kind of getting ahead of it before it got nasty. I don't know. That's like the only thing I can think of, though.
Yeah, I never thought like it was to cover up something else, but yeah, but what would it?
Right. Like the only thing that my mind plays at is that it'd be like somebody having information on you, and instead of allowing them to use that information, you just go ahead and get out in front of it.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like, that's the only thing I can think of.
He's not in prison, right?
No, he's in Russia. He's hiding in Russia.
Yeah, isn't that weird that this dude just happened to crack into the NSA and gather all this information?
Well, he worked at the NSA.
And yeah, which would even have more fucking eyes on him.
Yeah, and he was able to walk out with it.
And he just managed to get it out there and put it out there and escape the country.
Yep.
And
it's kind of weird, man.
That,
because if you work for an intelligence agency, you are being watched every day.
Every second of every day.
Every day.
Especially stuff of that level.
Yeah. Yeah, because it almost begs the question, like, once you get to them higher positions, you're pretty much, you have to be a lifer. Because if you're not a lifer, you won't have a life. I feel like they'll put you down because you know too much.
Yeah, that's another thing. Okay, say he did escape and he did make it to Russia. You're telling me that if he has all this pertinent, essentially world-changing information that he's threatening to put out there, the United States government couldn't have sent a dude over there?
Yeah, they would have murked him.
Yeah. Like,
at the very least, they just would have called Putin up and said, hey, we'll give you X amount of dollars to murk this guy.
Yeah.
And Putin, he would have done it. Or somebody over there would have. Assassins are real.
Yeah, it just doesn't, like, now that leaf's turned over, it just doesn't make that much sense to me. Unless,
it's weird, dude.
Because, I mean, even people with dirt get murdered,
Yeah.
Like,
oh, yeah.
Like, look at Epstein. Epstein had dirt on everybody from every political party ever, and he flexed that muscle, and all of a sudden the fucking video camera goes off in his cell, and he hangs himself. Like, that's pretty weird.
It's pretty fucked up, man.
And why, dude, I don't even know. Like, he's either either a smokescreen or he is so far ahead of the game that we don't even understand it. Maybe he's got shit on the Russian government as well. Maybe he's got shit on Putin, and he's like, "Hey, Putin, you're gonna fucking protect me, or else I'll." He could have shit all over the world. Where if he's like, "Hey, if I don't check in every 2 weeks, send this shit out."
Right. It's possible.
But
it's definitely possible. But you
can't
like I love Tripoli's phrase, "Masters of Mankind." Like when you're dancing with the Masters of Mankind, you have to be careful.
Oh,
you have to be careful, and like I've said before, like there's no way that you and me would outsmart an NSA agent or the NSA or the CIA, because it's what they do for a living. They have the best and brightest minds working in deception and everything like that. Like our brains don't have a daily capacity of thinking about deception like they do. Like,
and
it's their fucking job.
Essentially, it makes so much more sense for him to be a smokescreen, for them to let him out, give him a set of talking points. This is what we want you to release. Go out. We'll make a big stink about it. But essentially, you're just going to spend your life in Russia.
Yeah.
Go out here. Tell them you know this. Tell them you found out this. You found that we're collecting data here, this, and yada, 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 yada. That would make more sense if they sent him out there to either kind of break the ice on the whole situation or cover up something even more nefarious than it would be to me that this dude worked at the NSA, had all these eyes on him. All of his computer transactions and shit had to have been infinitely monitored.
You would think, yes.
I bet every fucking breath that dude took was recorded.
Oh, I'm sure.
And he just walked out of there with all that information. I doubt it.
Oh, I'm with you.
I feel like they were probably like, you know what, we're gonna make you the mouthpiece. Your world's gonna be turned kind of upside down. Nothing shitty's gonna happen to you, but we're gonna threaten a lot of shitty stuff. Because now the dude does fucking charges $50,000 to make a speech.
Yeah,
he's set.
Yeah, he's not hurting in any way, shape, or form. And shit, I forget what I was gonna say about it. Oh, what else came from the Snowden debacle? That's when they removed whistleblowers from a protective standpoint, because under Obama at the time, he had a whole thing dedicated to protecting whistleblowers. Like when whistleblowers come out, we were going to protect them because we were going to right the wrongs. Yeah. But then when Snowden came out, they dropped that mantra. They're like, well, fuck that. We're going to prosecute these fuckers. So that took that away too.
Which sort of leans toward him being more legit.
Could be. I don't know.
Unless he's got way more terrible shit that he hasn't released yet.
It's possible.
And they're trying to do damage control.
It's possible. And ironically enough, in the same week, this is why I do things. I was listening to Joe Rogan, and everybody knows by now that I'm pretty much a Joe Rogan fanboy, but I love when Joe Rogan has Mike Baker on. He's a ex-CIA guy, and they talk about the most fucking mind-blowing shit, right? And they got into a Snowden a little bit, but Rogan brought up from the standpoint of should he be prosecuted or not. And believe it or not, Baker said, yeah, he should be held accountable for his actions because what he did is illegal. It's damn near treasonous.
Yeah.
And
you almost have to hold him to those standards.
Then again, from Rogan's standpoint, he exposed what the government was doing to the people. Like, it's fucked. It shouldn't be allowed to do that.
True.
I don't know, but like when it comes to LifeLog being tech, and then we talked on Instagram Live for a little bit about the metaverse forming, all of these new tech programs coming, and then you've heard about social credit score.
Yeah.
From China, how they're at least considering bringing that over here to the States.
Yeah.
And I was telling
me.
I was telling my coworker about it because he didn't really know what it was. And I was like, all right, think about it like this. This is the example I heard. It was like, so say this guy gets on, say I get on a bus and I'm smoking. There's a camera on the bus, takes a picture of me breaking the law, sends me a ticket. At the same time, lowers my credit score, right?
Your social credit score.
Well, your social credit score is going to tie into your actual credit score, apparently.
What?
That's how they're going to incentivize people to do shit, right? So, and then from there, I go hang out with Steve. Well, now Steve's hanging out with a shit bum, so his credit score is going to go down too.
Well, fuck.
And then also another thing that I heard is that they're going to try to incentivize people like, hey, if you give us complete access to your browsing history,
we'll jump you up 10.
We'll raise your credit score.
10 points, dog.
Well, credit score. And I was telling TJ, the guy I work with, I was like, it's all about control. It's all about making you comply because then, like, you're not even going to be able to get on the internet and look up what you want to look up because it's going to lower your credit score. They're hitting you where it hurts most. They're hitting your wallet. And if you could have $20,000 in the bank, but if you ain't got enough to buy your house in cash or a car in cash, you ain't doing shit, right?
Get your shit paid off, folks.
So it's all about control and compliance, and that would be what LifeLog is. LifeLog is like a minority report, being able to predict people's actions. It's about logging everything. And then not to mention, you log everybody's shit. Well, if Kyle and Steve piss off the right people, well, they're just going to go browsing through our metadata that they can't read until they find something that they're going to try to use against us. And me and Steve's going to go, okay.
I love that that's their defense. We're collecting all this data, but we can't read it.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
We're not going to be able to use it against you, per se.
Yeah, because we can't read it.
Yeah, because we can't read
We're
it.
just going to build a massive storage facility to store it all.
We're just collecting it. We're collectors.
Come on. Like,
people
have the blinders are on so tight with a lot of people anymore.
It's just like, everything's collected now anyway.
Yeah, and like you said, we're all
phones,
to blame because we do all.
We have smart TVs,
partake.
Alexas,
yeah,
laptops with cameras, listening devices. If you think those things are shut off because you think they're shut off,
no, they're not.
Get the fuck out of here.
Yeah, it's bizarre, man, and
it boils down what is their feeding fuel is our convenience.
Yeah,
people are not like the NSA could come out and be like, your cameras on all the time, your microphones on all the time.
Nobody would
How
care.
many people do you think would get rid of their cell phones?
No one.
Not a fucking single person.
Maybe a handful.
They'd fucking tape over their cameras or some dumb shit, or like hold their thumb on the microphone like they're getting one over on the NSA. But convenience is king.
Yeah.
Especially here.
Well, and if they're not going to get you with convenience, they're going to get you with safety.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Like they're going to sell you.
That's what it boiled down to.
They're going to sell you like, hey, like they did with the Patriot Act. You know, we need this to keep everybody safe. This is how we're going to keep everybody safe. And once they get what they want, it's not going to give it back. They just keep it.
Yeah.
They're like, we're going to keep being able to look into whatever we want, whenever we want, without needing permission, because we're just going to blame it on terrorism or this or that or the other. Whatever label it doesn't matter, the label, they'll just make a new one up for it.
And I mean, essentially they don't even have to do that because we're all here just going for it, you know?
Yeah.
Every time you want to go to a website and it's like, do you accept these cookies and these terms of services? You're like, fuck yeah, I do. I'm trying to read this article.
I know.
Ba-dunk.
Well, now like you get on your phone and it's like, hey, we are going to monitor your cookies. Is that okay?
Yeah.
And you're just like, what the fuck, man?
Dude, at this point, I'm like, fine.
Yeah.
You know, like,
I used to worry about that.
You already know the shit that I look up, and apparently it's not that big of a deal because I'm still here. So,
right. And I used to worry so much about like me being monitored like that. Like one of the big, like I can remember when Illinois proposed concealed carry. And one of the stipulations of concealed carry was giving your fingerprints to the state police and the database and everything. And I'm like, fuck that. They ain't getting my fingerprints. And then as time goes on, I'm like, those motherfuckers already got my fingerprints. Who am I fooling?
Yeah.
Like, even if they didn't, they'd still find me if they want to find me.
Yeah.
It's not like I'm hard to find.
Dude, I'm just, at the end of the day, I'm not fucking interesting enough for them to give a shit.
I would put money that we're on several watch lists.
Good. Fuck
but
you.
I'm like you. Like, I feel like we would be at the bottom of them all. Like, our name is just there because we have crossed.
Because we've searched some fucking...
Yes. Like,
some trigger words.
Like, they have a line, and they're like, anybody that goes past this line, you put them on this list. And we've gone past it. But not far enough to be like, these two are the top of the fucking list. You watch them every day.
Yeah.
Fuck these two.
At least if you... NSA, if you're listening right now, at least download the show. Get us some downloads.
No shit.
Share it amongst yourselves.
Yeah, let us make some money
Help
out of
us help you, government.
Yeah.
It's just, I mean...
I don't know.
Nothing...
Tech and advancement is fucking terrifying.
Oh, yeah.
Like
100%.
It's fucking terrifying, man. And then the thought...
I'm like, how long until they have some sort of tech where they just read our thoughts?
Oh, they probably already have it.
You know what I mean?
Because there's been people who've come out throughout time and said, like during Star Trek, oh, we have stuff 150 years more advanced than Star Trek. We have, like, Mike Baker's come on Joe Rogan and told Joe flat out, like, we have tech in the government that would fucking melt your like.
Oh yeah.
You think your fucking phone's cool? Look at what we've been able to have.
That I watched.
And of
that
course,
one.
it's classified. And another creepy thing they were talking about. They were talking about that Mike Baker's got a show on Discovery or Travel Channel. It's like the Black Files or something like that. And he looks into just a bunch of conspiracy shit, weird shit, whatever. And there was a picture or a video of all these lights in the sky, right? And Joe's like, what is that? I'm like, what is that? He's like, that's a drone swarm. And Joe's like, what the fuck is a drone swarm? He's like, those are all drones. He's like, what? Yeah, those are all fucking drones. Like, they're used to scout miles ahead and this, that, and the other. And Joe's like, well, won't they like run out of battery and shit? And he's like, well, the premise behind it is what's going to happen is you're going to have all these small drones that scout ahead. And then there's going to be a mother drone that stays in the air where these little drones can come back and dock and recharge and then fly back out and scout more. And I'm like, that's fucking terrifying.
Oh, yeah. This like the shit they do with drones now, like where they make images in the sky and shit. Did you see all that?
No, but that's terrifying. It's not surprising because they'd be able to run an algorithm with drones, and that's crazy.
That's the plan. Yeah. They make faces.
That's insane.
That's all drones, bro.
That's insane. Look at that. That is so fucking weird.
Dude, that is Blue Beam.
Oh, yeah. Written all over it.
Coming to fruition.
Yeah. Written all over it.
Like, look at the animals in the sky.
Yeah. That's exactly what I thought when you showed me the first. Yeah, there's Jesus.
That is Blue Beam.
But I'm like, oh God. Yeah, imagine it being pitch black out and you see something like that in the sky.
Yeah, and this is just
Like
the
a fucking
technology we
portal.
have now. The technology we know about.
Yeah.
What if they ramp it up to 30% and we see something that's not just dots in the sky? It looks like a legit image in the sky. Like, it is getting wild, folks.
Dude,
It is getting
think about
wild.
that Spider-Man movie where Mysterio used all the drones to like do holographic images in the sky and shit. Like, it's
Blue Beam.
Dude.
And I watched this TikTok channel where this younger gal interviews her father, who is an ex-U.S. spy, and he talks about doing all kinds of spy shit. And she takes questions from people, and she asks him. And one of the questions was, how much of the how much information that the government has is classified from the public. The public has no knowledge about. And the dude said a conservative answer would be about 20%. So think about that. A fifth of the stuff that we do know, we don't know.
Right.
We have no idea about. That is a huge fucking chunk. That is almost that.
But he said that was conservative, right? Like
yeah.
Like there's probably more.
Yes.
Yeah. If I had to guess, I would legitimately guess at least 40%.
That the general public has no idea.
Yeah.
That's technology, that's information, that's
everything.
Yeah.
Like I would be more with like 40% at least.
Which is insane. To me.
Like if you think about
terrifying.
It is terrifying, but if you think about it on a grand scale, like imagine trying to lull however many people are in the United States, which is like
350 million?
Yeah. Like imagine trying to keep, imagine at least thinking it is my responsibility to keep these people in check. Because if I don't do my job, all these people are going to lose their fucking minds and they're going to start little factions of their own or whatever the case may be, right? So yeah. you have, it's fucking insane to even think that you have people who think it is their responsibility to maintain our compliance, to maintain that we stay in line.
Which, I mean, essentially it is their responsibility.
In a nutshell.
You know what I mean? Like,
it's terrifying that people put that upon themselves because realistically, we are sold that we live in a country where we can essentially do whatever the fuck we want.
Yeah.
Right? But that's definitely not the case.
Yes.
And it just blows my mind that, so they're like, all right, well, we could tell people that aliens are real, but people are probably going to freak the fuck out. So we should not tell them that aliens are real. It's our job to keep them all in line.
We'll just bring it up low key.
Right.
And see if they latch onto it.
So it just, I don't know. It just blows my fucking mind that we as individuals allow anyone to kind of dictate because don't get me wrong. Like I got questioned on, I think it was on Instagram, about like revealing alien information or interdimensional, whatever it was. And I was like, listen, man, here's my thoughts on it. There are some people out there that have the mental capacity to be like, to have like real alien proof put right in front of them and like go, look, aliens are fucking real. Here's a picture of one. There are going to be two types of people. Or maybe three. There are going to be people that can accept that and go, oh, all right. And then there's probably going to be another group that's like, I really don't give a shit one way or the other. But there's going to be a whole lot of people that it's going to break their fucking brains.
Yeah,
and like if they were to see,
you have to relearn. They would have to relearn everything.
Yeah, and if they were religion, to see like
history,
real world,
science,
Independence Day UFOs and shit. Like if it's one thing to have a picture in front of you, it's another thing to actually see an ET just walking down the street. That's gonna break people's fucking minds because, like you said, like it shatters the world that they know. Everything
would have to be relearned.
And I just don't think that some people have the mental capacity to deal with that.
Fuck no.
Like, it's not a shot probably because there's some...
Probably 90% of the public couldn't handle that.
Probably because a lot of people, they like the flow of they like their safe space, right? Everybody does. Nobody really likes to go outside of their comfort zone.
No news is good news.
Right. You know, and it's just, I don't know, it's fucking bizarre. I don't even know how I'd feel. Like if... I'd probably be fucked up if we went outside and we just saw an alien walking down the street. I'd be like, what in the fuck?
Yeah, it's like from Signs.
Yeah.
Everybody's just like...
Yeah. And I guess it'd all be about how the alien presented itself. Like if it was being all like,
If it gave us a hang loose sign, I'd be like,
it'd be way cooler. I'd be like, all right, he's free, all right.
If it
was like,
if it turned us both to ashes with a ray gun,
yeah, that would suck. That means he's a dick.
yeah, which they probably are.
Probably, man. I don't know. The world is a crazy place, and like you said, when it comes to lifelog and
we veered all sorts off course.
we did.
I love it.
We did, but it's all relevant because it's all current time, right? And you pretty much said it best. Like we are our own worst enemy when it comes to like logging our own life because we just comply to everything. Like you said, you download an app and it's like, hey, here's our terms of service, and you can just agree.
Yeah,
agree.
Yeah, I'm 100% guilty about it.
Don't give a shit what it says. I'm just agreeing.
When I'm
to
doing
it.
research, it's like you can't access this unless you allow our cookies, and I'm like, okay, take them.
Yeah.
Have as many cookies as you fucking want. Dog.
Don't give a shit.
And it is. I feel like that's what happened when it was all put out there. When DARPA put it out there that we are gonna track this and track that and track this and track that. Everybody was like, "Fuck, we don't want the government tracking us." And then somebody in there said, "Yo, dog, they're gonna do it on their own.
Yeah, we're just gonna approach this from a different
They're
angle.
gonna do it themselves." And they're like, "Yo,
this is
that's a good idea."
Well, you remember that cool phone fucking Jerry made a couple years back? We'll go ahead and put that out. We'll put GPS inside it.
Yeah, and
that's what we'll do. We'll call it the iPhone.
And then we'll, that MySpace thing, let's take it one step further.
Yeah.
Let's create a whole new one and put this other one out of business.
Yeah.
And they're like, and then it'll just be like an open log diary of their entire life.
Yep.
So-and-so's getting a divorce, they'll post it on Facebook. So-and-so had a new baby, they'll post it on Facebook. Someone's going to the Grand Canyon, I bet the pictures are going to be posted on Instagram. And it's all just, they're like, we don't even have to do anything.
Yep, they do it all themselves.
We logged it for them.
Yep. Yeah, and like you said, every one of us is guilty of it.
And
there's nobody that can really stand out. I'm one of the few that can say I don't Facebook, and I've never had a Facebook. But I do have Instagram, which is owned by Facebook.
Which is part of the metaverse, dog.
Yeah. Yeah, that's a whole nother thing. The metaverse is going to be fucking weird. I hope it's ready to play.
I find so much comfort in the fact that I am so uninteresting that they don't give a shit.
Yeah. That's the other thing.
That's my comfort blanket.
Like, that's the other thing. Like, when it comes to...
I am so bland that nobody gives a fuck about me.
Well, there's that, and then there's the key that we don't give a shit. So, like, there's been... I don't know. I'm probably going to rant for a second, but, like, it's hard to explain, like, off the top of my head, but, like, you see, like, the hidden messages in movies or any type of, like, covert influence throughout our media and shit. And I'm like, yeah, well, that doesn't work, like, on people like me and Steve, because we don't give a shit enough.
Yeah.
And we're not smart enough to figure it. Like, if I'm watching the new Shang-Chi movie, I'm just watching that movie. Like, any subliminal shit that you're sticking in there is not going to stick to my head.
Go right through.
Yeah, it's not, dude.
Like,
I'm
why isn't
telling
this
you.
fucking working?
Maybe he's just too stupid. Yep. You just hit it on the head.
It's I don't know, man.
But according to some people, we are being manipulated.
Are we?
Yeah, you and me specifically are manipulated.
Well, that's probably true. Whatever.
I don't give a shit.
Who said that?
Said what?
That we're being manipulated.
Oh, somebody. I'm not going to get into it because it'll just fire us up.
Oh, well. Whoever said it can suck it.
Somebody talking shit.
Anyways.
Yeah. That's pretty much it, though, on the old life log. And we could go on for quite some time talking about
convenience is
tech.
our own worst enemy.
It is. It really is.
That's the one thing keeping
I think
so
low
many
key,
people on the grid.
I think low key everybody knows it.
Oh yeah. It just doesn't affect your life enough. Them recording every move we make does not affect our life enough to where it negates the convenience of being connected to everybody else.
Right.
which is like I'm just as guilty of it as the next person, and I can give whatever excuses I want, like, oh, I'm just on Facebook to keep connected to the people that I don't talk to. Well, there's probably a fucking reason I don't talk to those people.
Right, exactly.
So,
and then we agree to the Apple update where it was like, hey, we're gonna go through your entire camera.
Yo, we're gonna use your debit card. No, all right.
Yeah. The last one, they were gonna go through your entire camera roll.
Oh yeah.
Looking for child porn.
Yeah.
And I was like, that's literally the world's best excuse to look at everybody's naked pictures. That's literally all that was.
One creepy dude in the basement. He's like, yo, I'll take that assignment.
Yeah, that's it. You know damn good and well that's 90% of that job.
I'll take that assignment. Oh,
come on. Get the fuck out of here. You know what that's about. Because I guarantee you, the average everyday Joe ain't trying to look at kitties naked. At least you fucking better not be.
Let's hope.
Because that's disturbing. And there's special places for you.
We got to dive into that enough in the next episode, so let that be a warning.
If Steve's episode doesn't get us canceled or clipped, one of my next ones will.
Yeah, it'll be fine.
We got some tasty ones coming down.
I'm not even done with the next one we're going to get started, but I'm just going to dive into it. Like,
might as well.
When I write our episodes, it's funny because I try to keep it between about 2,000 and 2,500 words. That's a good kind of time period. Kind of rounds us out where we need to be.
Yeah.
I'm not even past the first fucking section of whatever this is, and I'm pushing like 4,000 words already.
Yeah.
So I'm doubled it up.
This is what's probably going to get us clipped because I don't know if anybody's ever took the time to dive through as much as you're doing. And if you make it through the whole thing, and we put you basically have chronologically ordered everything, and we put that out into episodes, we're definitely getting clipped.
I'm trying. Hell, like there's 600 released FBI documents, and I'm about 200 deep, and I don't know if what I'm gonna come across needs to be put back in chronologically. I don't know. Anyway, you're gonna have to tune in next week to figure out what the fuck we're talking about.
Yeah, boy.
So until then, check us out at all our social medias: Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, Twitter, TikTok. Come and hang out with us. Until next week, stay safe, stay weird, and just keep accepting all the cookies that the government throws at you. They're like little snacks, little data snacks. Keep track of your dumbasses, my dumbasses, our dumbasses. So, see ya.